That innovation is something which you create anew, which has no foundation in the basic religious teaching of Sharia or law of the book. And ijtihad is something based on the basic teachings of that book or the conduct of the Prophet of that religion. So you have made it very clear and you know it correctly. What?
It comes in my mind, for example,
yes.
Some of the scholars in Islam,
yes.
Although they say that like ijtihad, they say regarding the rights of the women, for example, they should be given more education or more opportunities to work and all this. Some of the things may be contrary to what are the other ulama's think.
So what has it got to do with your question?
That's why I say
that is why I say it has no relationship with your question.
No, they may say that this is doing some bid'ah or something, inventing new, which is not found in the Sunnah and the Quran.
So what will...
They may think that
let them think so, but what would be your answer then? If they think so, how would you treat them? What would be your answer to them? Will you accept their plea? I think no. You won't accept their plea.
Such a little difference. So some of the things may not be agreeable.
You know, we can't discuss such matters in detailed application of the things here in a session like this. As far as the principal difference is concerned, fundamental difference between bid'ah, that is innovation, and ijtihad, which is deduction, it is clear to everyone. There is no difference whatsoever. The difference only would arise in the application of these two things. From one vantage point, some people would consider an act or a custom to be bid'ah because they don't see any relationship with that practice, with the Sunnah or with the Holy Quran. So they have a right to call it bid'ah because they don't understand any connection. Others who do it may claim that there is a connection and they may continue to plead for that to be not a bid'ah but an authenticated religious practice. Different. Everybody understands that. The application can be confusing for some, but then it will have to be treated on merit. If you want to find out a particular thing, whether it is bid'ah according to me or it is based on the Holy Quran and the teachings of the Rasulullah, then of course I can answer that question. But as far as the difference is concerned, you know it. Everybody knows it. They are two different things altogether. Yes, please.
The second part.
How many parts there are to it?
Kindly explain the difference between a mujtahid and a mujaddid.
They have nothing to do. They are different terms altogether. Ijtihad is a constant process which is never broken, and it is not an office created by God. Ijtihad, anybody who deduces things from the basic teachings of anything is a mujtahid. So the moment a truth is revealed, ijtihad begins, and it's an unbroken, continuous process. Mujaddid is a reformer. So can't you see a difference between the two things? Mujaddid is a reformer and mujtahid is the one who always gives a point of view. And the whole society is full of mujtahideen. Even you are a mujtahid in your own limited sphere. Every man has to be a mujtahid. Whenever you choose a way of life, you do it by the application of your own deductions. So when the deductions of one single person are ultimately held in high esteem, and more people begin to follow him and have faith in his deductions, then he gradually rises to the status of a mujtahid, the so-called mujtahid. Otherwise, everybody is a mujtahid. Please. Yes.
Yesterday there was a question about Usman Falki of Nigeria.
Yes.
Whether he was Mujaddid.
Whether he was a mujaddid or not.
And in answer to that question, you said that it is not necessary to believe in Mujaddid.
Yes.
Now the question...
It is necessary to believe in the office of Mujaddidiyat, but it is not necessary to believe in a Mujaddid because he is not Mamur in the sense. If I explain it further, then perhaps your question will drop out automatically. All right, you first point out. Yes, exactly, please.
Number one is that the hadith which speaks about Mujaddid, the Bible of faith, it says that in Allah ya Rasul Hazim.
Right.
That Allah will appoint those.
Yes.
Mujaddid.
Yes.
So they are people who are appointed by Allah.
Correct.
So now in that connection, the first question...
I agree. But the fact is, I understand, this is what I wanted to explain myself. The fact is that Allah has appointed the Mujaddideen and has not told them to claim that they are Mujaddideen. So how can it become compulsory for the people to believe in them as Mujaddideen? You know, most of the Mujaddideen of their time never discovered themselves that they were Mujaddideen. And they were found out later on by the centuries by judging their work, the quality and the excellence of the services to Islam they rendered. They were considered later on by the future generations related to their time to be Mujaddideen. And yet you agree that Allah had deputed them, Allah had raised them. Now here Yabaso does not mean that Allah raised them and made it binding upon all the people to believe in them. If Allah had so done, there would certainly have been a movement of a great strife against them. And that only happens in Nabuwa. You know, the whole society is severed from such people who are consciously raised by Allah and told to declare it to the world without ambiguity that they have been appointed as the leaders of that religion by God Himself. This phenomenon is Nabuwa and not Mujaddidiyat. In Mujaddidiyat, the raising simply means that Allah brings them up. Allah educates them and teaches them and has a special relationship of blessing with them, over them, or special relationship with them and covers them with His special blessing, so that they are brought up under the sight of Allah, and this is how they are raised by Allah. And they are created for doing great deeds of service for Islam, so that all that needs repair is repaired with their help. This is the concept of Mujaddidiyat. So you don't find any struggle starting from Mujaddideen. You know, when Mujaddid and the rest of the society are totally broken off and a great movement of opposition begins, and they start again from one individual, and gradually grow into the people of believers and people who believe in Allah and so on. That phenomenon is Nabuwa and not Mujaddidiyat.
Now, in that connection, there is another hadith which says that no mata bighair imam, faqat mata mein sajda hai. Now, what is that imam? Does the Mujaddid also included in that?
Now, what are the words of this tradition, this hadith?
Man mata.
This is not man mata bighair al imam.
There are two, I think, questions.
If you think, then don't